Today in our test we have one of the cheapest devices on the market, the Leagoo Z1C. It is a compact phone with the most basic set of specifications, a 4-inch display and a MediaTek chipset. The chassis is made of plastic. Inside the box, alongside the device itself, we can find a Leagoo charging adapter, a micro USB cable, 3.5mm headphones, plastic protection case, and user manuals. It comes in several colors: gray, white, gold, and rose gold. Leagoo Z1C rocks a 4-inch LCD display. The resolution is low for today's standards, since it is WVGA resolution. Considering the diagonal, the sharpness of the screen shouldn't be the biggest issue. Color reproduction is very imprecise, with very big changes in color when viewing angles are changed. Brightness is also very poorly set, so the general impression about the display is only mediocre. The 4-inch diagonal itself is very impractical for use. We think that in order to comfortably use a device, at least a 4.5-inch diagonal is necessary. It can show up to 16 million colors. Considering the price, which is very low, the display is decent. For the Z1C, much the same as most cheap device manufacturers are nowadays, Leagoo used a MediaTek chipset. It is the MT6580M chipset. It is consisted of 4 ARM Cortex A7 CPU cores and Armalai 400 MP2 dual-core GPU. As we have said, a classic low-class choice. It performed decently in everyday use in this Leagoo model, not perfectly fluidly, but it's quite acceptable. A terrifying thing, however, is the result gained during opening any slightly more demanding applications. Simply, the Z1C struggles when opening any modern game or a more demanding application. It starts overheating and performance drops are inevitable. We experienced a crash and a reboot even during the Subway Surfers game, which isn't really one of the more demanding games. The lack of RAM memory is also a minus, because 512 MB of RAM in 2017 is simply too little. We have 4 GB of internal storage, but it is quite a bit used by the pre-installed Android 5.1.1 Lollipop firmware. In the Z1C, Leagoo implemented a 3.2 megapixels main camera, but it is here more as a decoration. The camera interface is very slow, which makes the very shooting experience pretty bad. Photos made by the Leagoo Z1C are very poorly edited, with very few details and washed up colors. Next to the camera, there is a dual LED flash for low light shooting conditions, but the thing is that the Z1C shoots very bad photos even in conditions where light is abundant. It records HD videos which look very bad. The frame rate is unstable, and it is noticeable that the resolution is achieved through software enhancements using a poor sensor. The results are simply horrible. The front-facing camera has 2 megapixels resolution. Results are also very bad, and they can barely satisfy even the social network's needs. It doesn't support video recording. The device supports 2G and 3G networks, however 4G networks are not supported. Also, there is a dual SIM slot which uses a micro SIM and a mini SIM card. 3.5mm headphone port is there, and a micro USB port is used for charging and data transfer. Speaking of wireless connections, we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, and a GPS. The battery is removable and has a capacity of 1400 mAh. Considering the hardware, which is rather weak, and the screen, which is not too big, the Z1C performed well in terms of battery life. The device charges through a micro USB cable and an adapter which is present in the box, and for a full charge it takes around 2 hours. Of course, fast charging is light years away from the Leagoo Z1C. The price of this phone indeed is very low, but as always, you get what you pay for. Cameras are almost useless. The display is okay, it has certain flaws, but considering the price, those are completely justified. The package is pretty good, considering you get pretty much everything you need inside the box. There's even a plastic case to protect and save your Leagoo Z1C. If a phone really means very little to you, and you use it only for the most basic functions, the Leagoo Z1C will be a decent option. For everything else, however, our honest advice is to pass it by.